We're back with more tips exclusive for you, the FAIA members. If you're still running in-house servers in your infrastructure at your agency, then this would be a great video for you to watch. Nate Ginter, our CTO and cybersecurity auditor, Nate shares the advantages to running a cloud-based agency.
So there's a couple of different advantages you get from the cloud. Number one is the especially in today's sort of work environment where we're worried about, pandemics. You've got employees that want to be able to, have that freedom to work from home. There's the portability of your workflow. So you're able to have people in more flexible workflow environments. You're still able to have those kind of classic office meetings through things like Microsoft Teams or Zoom. There's a lot of different platforms out there now that are designed to make the cloud a reality for people. It used to be very expensive to have a cloud-enabled business. You had to worry about complicated things like VPNs, and even those were limited, into some of the functionality and some of the things that they could do. So there's also typically a cost savings. You don't have that server infrastructure you need to worry about. You don't have the heating, cooling, air conditioning concerns. If your building loses internet or your building loses power, now the whole company's down. It decentralizes that single point of failure that you typically have when you're working in an in-house environment, which is pretty much the way every business that we manage is going these days. We have tons of agencies we deal with who in the last 2 to 3 years have moved to platforms like Office 365, Google Apps for things like email, collaboration, file sharing, and a lot of the agency management systems that are out there. Every single one of them is moving to a web-based platform, whether they have it exactly in place right now or they're kind of band-aiding things. The top 3 industry leaders for agency management systems all are going web-based. Well, why are they doing that? Simply put, because that in-house server architecture is just a thing of the past. So I have rarely found an insurance agency that the security of whatever their server room is, even if they have, locked doors or some sort of punch pad or something, that I would feel more confident putting my data inside their agency that is in, rather than somewhere with a corporate data center, whether it's, a Microsoft data center, which, the security on that is beyond belief for something like 365, or a place like Vertafore. These data centers have security that you just can't afford as a single agency, in your building. I would say the likelihood of somebody picking up your server or breaking into your office, or even the security that you can afford for things like, firewalls. There's an economy of scale where the firewall systems that they're using cost, $100,000. You're not going to spend $100,000 on intrusion detection and things like that as even the best agencies.
So you're transferring that liability, that security liability to those
Correct. It doesn't eliminate, so the security worry or compliance worry for intrusion detection, making sure that things are blocked from the outside, people trying to hack in, those concerns and those control areas still exist. You are outsourcing that to a larger company that really specializes in that. As an insurance company, you're not specializing in, perimeter security and internet hacking detection. You're specializing in delivering the best insurance products that you can for your clients. Their job, that's all they do all day, is IT. So while the burden still exists and you need to make sure that you have good contractual terms in place, that they're giving you things like a SOC report, showing that they've been audited and that they're taking the proper precautions, those things still need to be there. They still need to be a part of your IT security program and your written security program. But you are outsourcing that liability for sure. There's a couple of parts that whenever you talk to somebody about transitioning to cloud services, there's always a couple of hesitancies. Number one, kind of ties into some things we've talked about before, where people are concerned about, I want to hold my data. I want to know that it's secure. For reasons we've gone into, that's far less secure. You don't do IT all day. These companies you're outsourcing to, they do IT and security all day, every day. So, kind of trying to get people past that old idea of, it's like storing your money in the mattress. Sure, you might sleep on it at night and feel good, but if the house goes up in flames, so does your life savings. So getting them to sort of that knowledge point, that's one sort of pain point in cloud transition for people, just conceptually. Another one can be, the functionality. People are scared of change. They're used to, the interface that they've seen from whatever system they're using. Sometimes there's not a direct allegory, like the product isn't exactly the same. There might be buttons in different places. You might be using a web browser to access things versus having a traditional program that loads up. And people can be a little bit wary of that. Usually, the feature benefits that you can show them and the cost savings far outweigh those concerns. A great example, that's very simple is, QuickBooks Online. So, most people, are very wary of QuickBooks Online when they first see it because it doesn't look like the traditional Windows application. But you don't have to worry about backups. You don't have to worry about, if you've got more than one person that wants to access it. God forbid they're not in the same building. You don't have to go across a VPN, which is very spotty. You don't run into all those programmatic things. It's natively designed to be, a work from anywhere system, and anybody that you want to give access, you have the ability to. Also, there's additional security measures that they can build into a lot of these newer programs, especially the web-based ones. It's called multi-factor authentication. So if you ever signed into your bank account and you've gotten a challenge response from your from your bank saying, hey, we're going to text you a code or email you a code. That's something that they can put in that most of the in-house programs just don't have the ability to do, or not easily. So that cost of ownership for better security is actually built in to these platforms. And then, the other thing that is tough to get people over is just the very concept of the fact that now, while it is accessible from anywhere, making sure that you have those good security controls in place. There's a number of ways to accomplish that, and each platform is a little bit different, but it can very easily be done with most of the big three providers that are out there for agency management solutions.